Hello everyone, welcome to Annals Geography classes. In this video, we are going to discuss about the basic introduction to the earth and to the geography. So, if you like this video, please subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any update and further video. Firstly, we are going to discuss about what is geography. So, the word geography basically it comes from a Greek language. So, it is a combination of two Greek words that is geo plus graphin. So, the literal meaning of geo means earth and graphin means description or to describe. So, we can say geography means description of earth. So basically, geography is the answer of three main questions like what is where, why, and how is made of. Or we can say geography means is the spatial analysis of Earth's surface. So in simple terms, we can say that we whatever we see in our real life, all we can say is basically related with geography. Like if anything answers you like what thing comes from where and why it is there and how it is made of, so all these things with geography. That means, for example, we can say if we learn about the formation of mountains, like how mountains made of and why in a particular place those mountains are situated, so all the questions will be answered by geography. So in simple terms, we can say if we analyze our earth on a spatial basis, then that is called geography. So, after learning about the literal meaning of word geography, here the next question comes arise that who coined the term geography or who is the father of geography? So, the answer is the father of geography is known as Eratosthenes. So, Eratosthenes was a Greek scholar who's also called as a father of geography because he coined the term geography in 222 BC because he wrote a book called Geographica. So, Eratosthenes was a great geographer, mathematician, poet, and astronomer. He is best known for being the first person to calculate the circumference of the earth, and his calculation was remarkably near to accurate. So, after learning about the meaning of geography and who coined the term geography, we are moving toward the shape of the earth, like how our earth looks like. So, most of the people think that earth is almost sphere, but that's not correct. So, according to geographers, the shape of the earth is known as oblate spheroid, which means it is almost spherical but not accurately. So why it is so? So there are two forces which works on the polar area of the earth and on the equator. So the name of the force is centrifugal force which works on the equator and centripetal force that works on the polar area. So according to these forces, our earth slightly flattened on poles whereas it is slightly bulged on equator. That means the shape of the earth is oblate spheroid rather than true sphere. As you can clearly see the difference between the diameter of the earth on equator and on a polar area in this diagram. For example, on an equator, the diameter of the earth is 12,756 km, but on the polar area it's around 12,714 km. So, in general, we can say the average diameter of the earth is 12,742 kilometers. So, this shows the clear variation between, like the clear difference between the pole to pole and the equator diameter. That means our earth flattened on the polar area and it slightly bulged on the equator due to the centripetal and centrifugal forces. So here comes the question like which force comes or works on the polar area or which force works on the equator. So the answer is centripetal force on the polar area and centrifugal force on the equator. So due to these forces are the shape of the earth is like oblate spheroid. Next, we will gonna discuss about Earth's rotation and inclination on its axis. For example, our Earth rotates on its axis from west to east direction, and it inclined on its axis near about 23.5 degree or 23 and a half degree. Some people say that it inclined about 66 and a half degree, and some says it inclined about 23 and a half degree. So both are correct, but most of the geographers considered 23 and a half degree is the right answer. But on it varies from 22 degree to 24 degree. So remember, the inclination of the earth changed due to or after some years from 22 to 24 degrees. So currently it inclined on a 23rd and a half degree. Our earth also revolved around the sun. So this means so it follows a elliptical path to revolve around the sun. That means the earth one times is the nearest to the sun and one times it is farthest to the sun. So the minimum distance between earth and sun is known as perihelion, which is near about 147 million kilometer, and the maximum distance between the earth and the sun is known about aphelion, which is near about 152 million kilometer, and we can say the average distance between the sun and earth is 149 million kilometer. So here the question comes arise like on which date the minimum distance between the earth and sun, or we can say what is on which date earth is closest to the sun and on which date earth is farthest to the sun. So the answer is 3rd January and 4th July. So on a 3rd January, our Earth is closest to the Sun, and the distance between Earth and Sun is 147 kilometer, but it is farthest from the Sun on 4th July. So here most of the students confused between 21st June and 22 December, like they think that the most closest and the farthest point or the distance between the sun and earth varies on this date, but that is the wrong answer. So it is basically slightly different from the 21st June and 22 December concept. So if the question arises like on which date earth is closest to the sun, the answer is 3rd January, and on which date earth is farthest to the sun, the answer is 4th July. So next we will gonna discuss about like what is latitudes and what is longitudes. So basically latitude and longitude both are the imaginary lines which we used to know about the places on the earth's surface. So remember, as such there is no longitude and latitudinal lines, but these are the imaginary lines. So first we will discuss about the latitudes. So latitudes are the imaginary horizontal lines. So the angular description of latitudes is north to south, like it varies from 0 degree at the equator to 90 degree on the north and south pole. So these are also known as parallel lines. Like so major 7 parallel lines are common. For example, equator on 0 degree latitude, tropic of Cancer, tropic of Capricorn, both are 23rd and a half degree latitudes on north and south pole, Arctic circle 66 and a half degree north, Antarctic circle 66 and a half degree south, north pole 90 degree north, and south pole 90 degree south. So there is also some descriptive zones of latitudes. For example, low latitudes lies between 0 degree equator to 30 degree north and south, Mid latitudes are lies between 30° north and south to 60° north and south, and high degree latitudes greater than about 60° north and south to the polar areas. So these are the descriptive zones. Or here are some interesting facts about, like our equator passes through near about 13 countries, and tropic of cancer passes through 16 countries, and tropic of capricorn passes through 10 countries of the world. So these are the basic concepts or related with the latitudes. So after the learning about the latitudes, here comes about the longitudes. Like longitudes are also our imaginary lines, but these are the vertical lines which we shows on our map in the vertical form. So the English description of longitudes are east to west. That means it lies from east to west, so it varies from 0° to 360°. So these lines are also known as meridians. We are also called as meridians. So it is also measures in degrees, minutes and seconds. So the most important longitude is the prime meridian, which is also known as Greenwich meridian, which passes through the place called Greenwich, which is the most famous city of England. So the prime meridian is similarly divided our earth into two equal halves known as eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere, as our equator divides our earth into two hemisphere called as northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So the another important longitude is 180° longitude, which is known as international dateline, which was firstly proposed by Ferdinand Magellan, who was a great explorer, and in the 1519 who explored the Australia and New Zealand continents. So next we will discuss about the annual march of seasons, like how are seasons formed. So it is a very simple concept, we all know about this. Like when our earth revolves around the sun, so our seasons formed. For example, when our earth is closest to the sun, or like it receives the vertical rays of the suns, then that area experience the summer season. And when which area of the earth receives elliptical rays of the suns or tilt rays of the suns, then that area is experiencing the winter season. Apart from this, there is one another important or interesting fact about the earth which I would really like to add here. Like there is a circle of illumination or line of illumination, which is the most common question. Like what is the line of illumination or the circle of illumination? So most of the students said that 180° longitude is known as circle of illumination, that is the international dateline. So circle of illumination is basically the line which differentiate between the day and the night. So line which makes the difference between day and night is called as circle of illumination. It is not a absolute line, this is an imaginary line, as you can see in the diagram. So here clearly mentioned that the one side is a brighter side or of the earth and another side is the darker side of the earth. So the line between a darker and a brighter side is known as circle of illumination. So in the last part of this video, we will discuss about the time zones. So in 1884, International Prime Meridian Conference was organized in Washington DC, where countries agreed to divide the world in 24 standard time zones, like each zone extending over 15° longitude, which means like every 15° longitudes there is a difference of time about 60 minutes. So this is called as the Greenwich Mean Time or the Universal Time Coordinates. So the local mean time of the Greenwich Meridian was chosen as a standard time or the standard time of entire system.